We're going to get some analysis here from two experts here in the studio in just a little bit, but let's start with our South Korean presidential office correspondent Hwang Hojun, who's standing by at the main press center in Seoul. Hojun, it's been quite a day and you've been right in the thick of it. What's the latest?
Well, Devin, the last of the poll reports came in just about 2 hours ago. And according to the poll reports, President Moon Jae-in and Kim Jong-un held a 2-hour-long summit meeting at the headquarters of the Central Committee of the Workers' Party of Korea at 3:45 p.m. Korea time. The director of South Korea's National Intelligence Service, Suh Hoon, and President Moon's top security advisor, Chung Eui-yong, were also in attendance. On the North Korean side, there was the leader, Kim Jong-un, as well as Kim Yo-jong, his younger sister, and Kim Yong-chol, the director of North Korea's United Front Department. It was the first meeting of at least two, which are set to take place in the next 2 days. Right before the meeting, President Moon signed the guest log, leaving the following message, quote, "Through peace and prosperity, the hearts of the people become one." President Moon thanked Kim for the warm welcome and for his determination to open a new era for peace between the two Koreas. And Kim Jong-un expressed his gratitude for President Moon's tireless efforts to improve both inter-Korean and Pyeongyang-Washington relations. The outcome of the talks are yet to be released. While President Moon and the North Korean leader held their meeting, other South Korean delegates visiting the North held their own separate meetings with North Korean officials. There was a mishap, however. 3 of the South Korean political leaders who are part of the delegation missed their planned meeting with the vice chairman of North Korea's Supreme People's Assembly, An Dong-chun. He had to wait for nearly an hour until he canceled the meeting. Well, there has been no confirmation just yet. President Moon and the South Korean delegation's welcome dinner was expected to end around 9 p.m. Korea Standard Time. The dinner would have been followed by an art performance by North Korea's Samjion Orchestra and singers.
All right, got it, Hojun. Now, live feeds from Pyongyang have been coming through the center where you are. You and everyone there saw President Moon arriving in the North Korean capital this morning, and since then, there's been plenty more footage. What's been the reaction at the press center as that comes in?
Well, this being the second time the reporters have actually watched a live encounter between President Moon Jae-in and North Korean leader Kim Jong-un, the reaction from the Seoul Media Press Center has been a bit more subdued compared to that of in April. But of course, all eyes were still definitely glued to a screen that you can see right behind me. Probably one of the most striking images we have seen so far was the two leaders' motorcade from the airport to Baekwawon State Guest House, the same venue where former presidents Kim Dae-jung and Roh Moo-hyun both stayed when they visited Pyongyang in the year 2000 and 2007, respectively. Watching literally thousands of North Korean citizens lining up on the sides of the streets, waving flowers and shouting 조국 통일, which means homeland unification in Korean, as President Moon Jae-in and his North Korean counterpart rode in an open-topped Mercedes through Pyongyang. The jaws of many reporters here at the press center fell to the floor.
Yeah, an enthusiastic reception to say the least. Now, Hojun, none of us can say yet what either side will get out of this summit in writing. We got the Panmunjom Declaration back in April, though, at the two leaders' first summit. Is something like that in the cards this time?
Well, we can't say for sure yet. According to the Presidential Chief of Staff, Im Jong-seok, his briefing yesterday, he actually said if things go as smoothly as planned, we can expect the two leaders giving a joint press conference tomorrow about their talks and the results of it. But of course, Yoon Young-chan, the presidential press secretary, said this morning that more than any statement or agreement, the most important thing is the two Koreas agreeing to hold regular talks and dialogue in the future. Take a listen.
The president said we're at a stage of institutionalizing peace from the routine of the threat of war. We're looking to earn peace, an irreversible and a lasting peace in the region. We aren't looking for declarations or adding more agreements. Instead, we're moving forward to a new era based on the agreements already made.
And in terms of keeping close communication with the U.S., Yoon said it's probably not going to be as easy to keep that such close communication with the U.S. during the three-day summit, but he actually stressed that President Moon, in fact, will brief the U.S. President Trump in person next week during the UN General Assembly. Back to you, Devin.